Welcome to IELTS Writing Lesson 4, Feedback. In this essay, we'll examine how you can become more coherent and cohesive in your essay writing. What we're going to do is look at essays from two different students of mine. One of them received a lower band score and the other one received a higher band score. And when you look at the difference between the two, you'll start to get ideas of what went wrong for the lower band score and why the more advanced student got a better mark. This is the essay title we'll look at. People do not interact with their neighbors and it's harming community building. What are the possible causes and solutions? So it's a problem solution essay. The first student wrote, "It is often said that the general public frequently do not have social interpersonal relationships with neighbor. Moreover, it could impair the synergy of building up a society." So what do you think of this introduction? Is it answering the question about cause and solution? The student has made a very weak attempt to paraphrase the essay title. She does understand the question, but the sentences are not clear. I don't understand what it is in that second sentence. And the word synergy seems out of place. So unfortunately, the student completely forgets to refer to any cause of the problem or the solution, which is essential for a coherent introduction. Let's look now at the advanced band score. So this student wrote, "Nowadays, there's less interaction among people living in the same area, and this has a negative impact on the development of communities." This essay will explore the main cause related to the internet and the lifestyle and the solution using technical means to support communities. So here the band score, I would say this is band score 9 student, has created a successful paraphrase in that first sentence. Then he refers to the cause of the problem, the internet lifestyle, and the solution. The sentence, it's a little complex, but it is coherent and it's understandable. And he answers the question, which is the main thing. Main body paragraph 1. To begin, many people are lacking of intercommunication to each other, even though they had been together in one community. Due to the fact there are diversity in attributes, whereas a discordance has been emerged. A clear example of this is there are multitudinous of citizens who have pleasing personality and those who are not. On top of that, there are multitudes who don't know to each other for the reason that others are not fascinated to have an acquaintance. Instead, to mingle to the populace, they opt to divert their attention to more prolific errand. Okay, this is very convoluted. The many grammar mistakes here destroy the coherence of the topic sentence. And this sentence doesn't even make sense. To me, the examiner cannot understand it. Why? Because a lot of the vocabulary seems to be a translation. These sentences appear to be direct translation from the student's language into English. I suspect that she's probably used a translator. There's nothing wrong with using translators, but it's better to use natural expression when you write, because the direct translation doesn't make sense sometimes in the target language. The band score 9 student, he wrote, "Increased use of the internet in everyday life has reduced interaction among neighbors in the same community. In the past 10 years, immediate access to the internet allows people to shop, communicate, find directions, and get information about everything instantaneously. In my hometown, people used to meet at the village center every weekend to play music and tell stories. Today, most people in the same town prefer to stay at home because they use social media or play video games online. The danger of this new way of living is that people will become more isolated, dependent on technology, and lonelier in their lives." What do you think of this paragraph? The topic sentence is simple, but it presents the cause presented in the introduction. That's the coherent structure. There's a clear explanation and a personal example that I think anyone would understand. Main body paragraph 2. On the other hand, people ought to uptake the quiddity of comradeship despite of divergent stereotype of each individual, because conventional customs could not be extirpated. That's not even a word in English. So this person is making grammar mistakes, has garbled the meaning of the sentences. The paragraph doesn't make sense because, again, there's a lack of coherence. These unusual expressions are not understandable to an IELTS teacher or an IELTS examiner. Paragraph 2, the advanced student wrote, however, there are solutions to improve interaction among neighbors so that a community can operate as a social support. Firstly, we can create online groups to organize outdoor events with neighbors and acquaintances. In this way, people of all ages in the community can see each other in person, offer emotional support, and include the disabled or elderly in the society. For example, our local community has an online group that invites all the neighbors to picnics and meetings throughout the year. It fosters a spirit of support and friendliness in the locality. So a cohesive device of contrast at the beginning of main body paragraph 2. The student has also used cohesive devices for the explanation, firstly, and for example. So those cohesive devices really make the paragraph a lot more coherent, and the vocabulary is not too complex, but it's appropriate. Conclusion. So the lower band score wrote, in conclusion, a synergic approach of associability would bring harmony. To some extent, inclusiveness would be inevitable. We have the spelling error and the strange use of language. So what can we learn from the lower band score? We can learn that you need to make sure the language in your essay is natural, it's not artificial or contrived. Develop a clear sentence structure and accurate grammar. Answer the question and reformulate the conclusion. The advanced band score, to conclude, even though increased use of the internet could lead to isolation in society, we can use online groups to improve face-to-face interaction and offer emotional support within our communities. So he's used the correct cohesive device, and the conclusion brings us back to the main ideas presented in the introductions and the paragraphs. So what can we learn from the advanced band score? To get band score 7 and above, use paragraphing and the correct format: the intro, your topic sentence, explanation, example, and the conclusion structure. Use simple ideas, natural language. Follow the thread of your argument to maintain coherence, and try to remain accurate. Garbled language and grammar mistakes makes your essay much less coherent. And don't forget your cohesive devices. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck in writing coherent essays, and we'll see you in the next lesson.